Kalapo and Leila are husband and wife, but their marriage is slowly falling apart. Ironically, both of them are actors, and at this moment they are starring together in a romantic movie about love. On screen, they look like the perfect couple. Their chemistry is powerful, emotional, and believable. But the moment the director yells, "cut," everything changes. The love disappears and the tension returns. After filming, they don't even go home together. Each of them drives their own car back to the house, and when they finally arrive, the arguments begin again. Their fights are constant. Sometimes the arguments are about serious issues, but other times they start over the smallest things. One night, the argument begins because Leila wants to sleep with the lights on, while Kalapo prefers complete darkness. Neither of them is willing to compromise, and the argument becomes so intense that Kalapo eventually gives up and starts sleeping on the couch. Their marriage becomes so strained that they decide to go to couples therapy, hoping that a professional can help them fix their relationship. During one therapy session, Leila begins explaining how everything started between them. According to her, the first time she met Kalapo was during an audition. He accidentally bumped into her and asked for forgiveness, but the way he approached her made her think he was rude and arrogant. Later, during the audition, Kalapo performed surprisingly well and impressed the casting team. However, Kalapo remembers their story very differently. He explains that he had actually seen Leila in a movie long before that audition, and the moment he saw her on screen, he was immediately attracted to her. His sister Abigail and his friend Obi laughed at him when he told them about it. They told him that someone like Leila would never even meet him, let alone fall in love with him. At that time, Kalapo was working at a hotel. One day, Leila walked into the hotel, and Kalapo gathered the courage to approach her. He told her that he was a huge fan of her work, but Leila ignored him completely. Obi witnessed the whole situation and laughed at Kalapo for embarrassing himself. A few days later, fate brought them together again at the audition. Leila and Jane had several actors to consider for the project, but even though Leila still believed Kalapo was rude and obnoxious, they eventually chose him for the role. The two began filming a short movie together. Even though they constantly argued behind the scenes, something interesting started happening whenever the cameras were rolling. Their on-screen chemistry was incredible, and their performances together felt natural and powerful. One day, during another argument, Kalapo suddenly asked Leila if they could start over by going on a date. To his surprise, she agreed. But Kalapo had a big problem. He was about to go on a date with a famous actress while he was completely broke. At the same time, Obi had secretly been dating Kalapo's sister Abigail. They had kept their relationship hidden from Kalapo. One day, while Obi was visiting Abigail, someone knocked on the door. It was Kalapo. Obi quickly hid inside the house to avoid being discovered. Kalapo entered the house looking worried. He had just asked a woman completely out of his league on a date, and he had no idea what to do. While he was explaining the situation to his sister, he heard a strange noise in the house. When he went to check, he found Obi hiding. Obi quickly made up an excuse, claiming that he had come to kill a rat. At that moment, Abigail decided to confess the truth that she and Obi were secretly dating. Kalapo became furious, but Obi offered him a deal. If Kalapo kept their relationship secret, Obi would let him borrow his father's expensive car for the date. The next day, Kalapo arrived to pick up Leila in a luxurious car and wearing expensive clothes. But Leila quickly sensed that something wasn't right. She told him that they didn't need to go to an expensive hotel for their date, and then she asked him if the car was really his. Kalapo finally admitted the truth. He confessed that he had been pretending to be rich because he was afraid she would reject him if she knew he was poor. Instead of rejecting him, Leila surprised him by saying she didn't care about his financial status. That night, they ended up having an amazing date, and for the first time, Leila opened up about her past. She told him about how her father abandoned the family when she was young, forcing her to struggle just to survive. Over time, their relationship grew stronger, and eventually they got married. But now we return to the present, where their relationship has completely changed. One day, Leila tells Kalapo that she'll be traveling for 2 months to film another movie. Kalapo simply replies with one word, "Okay." That response deeply hurts Leila because she remembers how things used to be. In the past, if she told him she would be traveling for 2 weeks, he would beg her not to go, saying that 2 weeks without her would be unbearable. At the same time, Kalapo's acting career is not going well. 5 years have passed and he still hasn't gotten his big breakthrough role. Because of this, he suggests managing Leila's brand and their company while she focuses on acting. Leila encourages him and tells him that his breakthrough moment will come eventually. While Leila is away filming, Kalapo constantly checks on her and even sends her gifts. He especially sends her nuts, which he knows are her favourite snack. Then something unexpected happens on Leila's film set. The lead actor suddenly quits the production, leaving the movie without a main character. Leila suggests Kalapo as a replacement. After seeing his audition, the directors are impressed by his acting skills and give him the role. Soon the two of them are acting together again. However, this situation quickly leads to another argument. Leila claims that Kalapo would never have gotten the role if she hadn't recommended him. Kalapo insists that he got the job because he is talented, although he admits that Leila helped him a little. Leila says she only wanted a little appreciation for her support. As filming continues, the director invites both of them to attend a party together. Kalapo immediately agrees, without asking Leila first. This makes her angry because she had already told him she would be working on another film that night. Kalapo responds by pointing out that she also accepted that job without consulting him first. The argument grows more intense, and Leila finally asks him if that is the reason he has been acting distant lately. She asks if he is trying to let their marriage fall apart. Kalapo replies that he tried to reach out to her many times, but she shut him out completely. Leila then reveals the real reason for her behaviour. She explains that she has been mourning the death of their son. She asks Kalapo if he even remembers their child anymore because he removed their son's pictures and cleared out his room as if he never existed. Kalapo immediately refuses to talk about the subject. That painful moment pushes their marriage to the breaking point, and Leila asks for a divorce. They return to their therapist and announce that therapy is no longer working. Both of them have decided to separate quietly without involving lawyers. However, after the session, Kalapo secretly follows Leila and discovers that she is visiting a law office. Feeling betrayed, Kalapo hires his own lawyer because he refuses to let her take half of his property. Soon, Leila receives legal documents from Kalapo's lawyer, which shocks her because they had agreed not to involve lawyers. She explains that she had only visited a friend who had just returned to the country and happened to be practicing law, but Kalapo refuses to believe her. The divorce negotiations begin, and Leila's lawyer demands 60% of the property. The lawyer argues that Leila supported Kalapo when he had nothing, and that she sacrificed her career to raise their son. Kalapo's lawyer argues that Kalapo built the company from nothing and now earns 6 figures every month. The lawyer also reminds everyone that they had agreed that Kalapo would run the business while Leila stayed home to take care of their son. Then the lawyer asks a painful question: where is their son now? Leila breaks down in tears and explains what happened the day their son died. She says she was in the kitchen preparing dinner while their son was playing outside with the neighbour's daughter, something he often did. But when she came outside to check on them, she saw the neighbour's daughter talking to a random boy. When she looked around for her son, she saw him floating in the swimming pool. She cries as she explains that she never expected something like that to happen and that she would never hurt her own child. She asks Kalapo why he believes she would ever kill their son. Unable to handle the pain of losing his child, Kalapo began drinking heavily in order to forget the tragedy. Eventually, the divorce process is completed. As Leila packs her belongings to leave the house, Abigail tries to talk to her, but realises that Leila has already made her decision. Before she leaves, Abigail plays an old video on the television. The video shows the day Kalapo proposed to Leila, when they promised to stand by each other no matter what happened in their lives. Watching the video brings back painful memories. Kalapo finally turns to Leila and asks why she shut him out when he tried to talk to her. Through tears, Leila explains that after their son died, Kalapo stopped doing the small things that once made their marriage special. He stopped complimenting her, stopped appreciating her beauty, and stopped showing her affection. She believed that he blamed her for their son's death and that he was silently punishing her for it.